Hi everybody and welcome back. It's been 2 weeks, I have another video, and I think this is my favorite video so far because I have 2 FFOs, which is wonderful. And I actually am organized. I have a list today, so hurrah. I'm also trying to film entirely with natural light, which is a little bit difficult, but I realize will look better, and I'm hoping show the colors more truly. So anyway, without, too much preamble and all that, my first FFO, and I actually never even showed this as a finished object. I just finished it and the next day took it to the framers, is Miss Bingley's Library by Plum Street Samplers. And it's framed. So I ended up, this is stitched on a kind of mystery linen that obviously is purple, and I kept the spirit of a lot of the colors the same. I think the most significant changes I made are that I changed the colors of the flowers, a cardinal, a red bird there, and I ultimately didn't like it, so I put in a red book and I actually added my initials. I don't know if you can see it, but I added my initials on the spine of that book instead of stitching it someplace else. So anyway, I was really happy to finish this. The house took forever to stitch and made me realize that I don't really like stitching houses that much. Oh, the other major change I did is instead of using like a dark brown for the window panes, I used a Soie Cristal in color 80, which is like a very, very light blue-gray, and I think it looks nice as a window pane color. I'll show you closer. So anyway, this is my first finished object, and I'm really happy with it. I've already picked out a spot for it to live on the wall. The next finished object, this is the big one. This is one that I can't believe how nicely it turned out. But I got Lady Hera framed. So are you ready? I don't even know if I can. There we go. So framed completely, stretched, and then she is triple matted. The mats were cut specifically for this, and I chose a turquoise, a copper, and a teal. I pulled colors from the piece for these 3 mats. And then this frame I actually used with Celtic Summer, and I didn't realize it, but that's okay. They can have the same frame. I love this frame. This is stitched on a 32 count mystery linen that I think might be Picture This Plus, but I'm not sure of the colorway. So anyway, I think this turned out really lovely. I'm very lucky. I have a Michael's close by, which some chain stores are not that good with framing, but the Michael's I go to, I've been getting pictures framed there for years and years and years, and they've always treated my needlework really, really nicely, and I've never had an ounce of trouble. It's always expensive, but it's worth it in the end. I mean, if I spend months and months and months stitching something, then I want it on the wall where I can see it. I want it framed. I want it preserved. I got the good kind of top quality glass for it. But anyway, so here we go. And sorry for the glare. Again, natural light. For my whips, I spent a lot of time working on my Egypt Garden by Chatelaine. So let me show you what it looks like when it's done. Here is Egypt Garden by Chatelaine now. So I had a big goal to finish. I've just been calling it the plus sign. And so my biggest dilemma with this was for this dark blue background to use 2 different colors or 1 color. And ultimately, because when I set the 2 colors side by side, I literally couldn't tell a difference. And so I just decided to fill in using 1 color, and I think it looks great. And then there's black, and then there's like a very dark blue, and again, I just kind of had to there are so many shades of dark blue. I just kind of picked one that I liked and used that because I couldn't tell. But ultimately, like, it's looking beautiful. I also did all of the beading around the shrubbery, and there's a bead on every flower. I'm really loving this. I'm loving working on this humongous, floor stand that I have. So it's working out really well, and I can't wait to make more progress. I've also spent time on other whips, actually. So like I've said before, my Stitchy Bug has come back for full coverage. And so I am stitching Meeting on the Turret Stairs. Let me show you a picture. And this is where I am right now. So this is just, the top corner above the doorway. It's confetti browns, not the most interesting thing to stitch, but I'm using Pattern Keeper, and this is a 28 count cream Lugana. I wanted this over white because I think the white shows through a little bit more, and I am actually gridding it myself with the water soluble blue pen. So Pattern Keeper makes this go really quickly. I do park a little bit, but for the most part I'm stitching cross country and I'm really going quickly. I think I've done like 1.2% exactly. So I think this is going pretty well so far. I actually couldn't sleep last night, or rather I woke up really early, and rather than just like laying there and fretting about stuff and like life stress and everything, I just got up and I was like, I'm going to watch Floss Tube and stitch. And I put in like 200 stitches in this. So, and then had to go like do things for the day. But anyway, I've really been liking this, and I want to make progress on it. So. Now I forget if I showed this. So my mom made me a project bag with this kind of funky butterfly fabric, which is beautiful. And she also made me a Harry Potter project bag with the same pattern. And so I pulled out, I have Monkshood in this by Nora Corbett. And I pulled it out. I didn't do a lot, but I did do some on this side. And hopefully I can work more on this in a little bit. But I've really, really, really liked working on this, and I like the colors. So that's my hope, is to be able to get this done within the next 6 weeks, maybe. I don't know. I've also been working on Welcome Winter by the Drawn Thread, which looks like that. And I'm determined to get it done by the first day of spring. So I haven't put a lot of stitches in it, but I've made some progress. So here's what it looks like now. And this is on a 32 count flax linen by who knows what company, but it's nice and soft. So anyway, there's this progress. And again, my deadline is the first day of spring. It better be done because I'm starting Welcome Spring, hopefully on the first day of spring. And I don't want to be behind with this. So I'm determined to stitch this whole series, and I found that kind of giving myself deadlines is really helpful. Just like, I've started filming every 2 weeks, and that gives me the opportunity to make like meaningful progress on all of my pieces, and enough time to like look at everything or work on everything. So anyway, those are the current whips, and then I also have a new start. So let me show you that. And here is my new start. So this is Renaissance Mermaid by Mirabilia, and she's beautiful. Here we go. So she is stitched on a 32 count opal linen in the colorway Galeen by Under the Sea Fabrics. I love this fabric. I think that she did a great job dyeing it. And one of my big changes
I love my system here. I'm now using floss away bags on this ring, but instead of using the called for DMC, I am using Soie d'Alger silk. And I will say that I really, really, really like the coverage with the silk. It's doing a fantastic job. There's a little bit more texture to it, but and I am railroading the top leg. So when I'm crossing the stitch in going in reverse, I'm putting the needle through the 2 strands, because this is stitched 2 strands of silk over 2 threads of linen. So no beading yet. I had to get the face done. I think out of all the Mirabilia faces, I think this one is really, really nice, and I've been pretty happy with her. And so I think next I'll be kind of working on the arm and the hair, and then we'll go from there. But anyway, this is Renaissance Mermaid.
Plans. I am starting the Peacock Keeper, and actually, so I'm filming this on Sunday in February 16th, and tomorrow I am leaving for Florida for a week, visiting family, very excited, desperately need a break. Like, even going to like a different grocery store would be very welcome. So the piece that I'm taking with me, I'm almost certain, is the Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches. So I seem to be, like I've said, developing a thing for peacocks. And I'll show you this again. I have, and if I'm taking this tomorrow to stitch, especially on the plane, like I have to get my backside in gear because this fabric is not prepped. I don't have a frame. This is 32 count jazz linen by Picture This Plus. It's just a 17 by 25 piece, and it's really pretty. It's my colors. I need to iron it. I need to find my starting point. I need to pick a starting point, and I've never done a piece like this before. I've never really done anything with an elaborate border. One of my mirrors did have like a banded border that has my Cinderella that has kind of some floral motif at the edges, but you know, nothing like this. So I have to decide if I want to. I think a lot of people start and they stitch the border completely and then the kind of motifs and then the words last. But so I have to decide where I'm starting, find that starting point. And I've been using floss away bags, so maybe get some floss away bags because I have all of the called for hand-dyed cottons, which are really, really, really beautiful. And, you know, kind of with, I guess, green, not such my favorite color, but the teals and blues and purples are my colors. So hopefully I can work on this and have some stitching time while I'm there. And also while I'm there, visiting the Golden Needle, which I have heard, it's in Port Charlotte, and I've heard it's a wonderful, wonderful L&S, and I live to go for those, to go and be able to see fabric. I think it's important to shop for fabric in person as much as possible if you're not using the called for, because like everybody says on their videos, the colors look off online, whether, you know, you're using a phone or a computer. It all is dependent on sometimes the photography of it and the lighting that they used. And speaking of not picking out fabric in person, I joined 2 fabric of the month clubs and kind of added on a thread just to kind of try them out. So I did Fiberlicious and Color and Cotton, and Color and Cotton hasn't come yet, and that's okay. Fiberlicious came, and I feel very, very lucky because, you know, for as picky as I am with like needlework fabric, I placed a lot of trust in like getting something that was like a mystery, but I really lucked out. So so anyway, let's see, I got a 32 count opalescent linen in a 17 by 26 piece, and it's called Glowing Dreams, and it's so beautiful. Oh, it is absolutely stunning, 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 stunning. And I know exactly what I'm putting on this. And this is very serendipitous because I have wanted to stitch a Joan Elliott, and on eBay I bought this because it has so many patterns that I want to stitch and it's in really good condition, but I want to stitch Autumn Fairy on this piece. So sorry for the glare again. But I think that her colors with the kind of orange and gold and purple especially will look really good on this, and she will absolutely fit. I kind of decided that she was going to go on this fabric and then had a little bit of a like, oh my god, I haven't even like checked the size. Like she might be, I like having a lot of fabric margins on the side. Like I like to have at least 3 inches on every side, if not 4. But I will be good on this one. So I definitely lucked out on my fabric, and I'm really, really happy with it. So I'm keeping this subscription for another month, and we'll see what they bring me next month because it's lovely. I also decided to try their silk thread pack, and I've taken it out so it's not as pretty, but they sent me some pretty Valentine's Day colors. So let's see, this is hand-dyed spun silk, 40 single strands, 48 meters, not color fast. So in the colors Gardenia and Jasmine. It's more pink than it's showing up actually. Ballet Slipper. Hot pink, clearly. And Eggplant. Oh, I don't know if you can see that color, it just looks dark. So anyway, I look forward to, I didn't do any kind of Valentine's specific stitching or anything. I don't really have any, actually I do have a Valentine's pattern. Now I feel like I want to go find that pattern right now and see if these will work or if this would be enough thread. But anyway, so I am also keeping the thread subscription for another month and see what they bring me. But I'm hoping in the next, when I get back from vacation, I will do at least a little bit of test stitching with this and see if it's nice to work with, because I love working with silk. Okay, what else did I get? I added a couple of patterns when I had to order, like to finish Miss Bingley's library, I had to order 1 strand of something, and then for my new start I had to order I had to order 1 skein. And so I ended up picking up the other 2 drawn thread welcome signs. So welcome summer and welcome autumn. And now I have all 4. And I would like to start these on the first day of this season because I already actually have pieces of fabric for all of them. I just, I don't have all the colors. And they do have colors that repeat, so they're all charted to be a mixture of, I think, Dinky dyes, and I know that there's some NPI and others, but I think once you kind of buy a set of colors, when you stitch other patterns, you don't have to buy everything again. Like there's not a lot of black, so the same black I think is used throughout. So if you buy 1 skein, it should cover, stitching all of them. But anyway, so I picked these up, and I love stitching mermaids and I love purple. I have no idea why I haven't purchased this pattern sooner, but I got Sea Flora from the Petite Mermaids collection. Oh, it actually has a corrected stitch count. It has a corrected, well, so this is not very big or wide at all. It could go on a fairly small piece of fabric. It's only 6.25 inches by 13.25 inches on a 32 count, stitched 2/2. So it's smaller, but if I have a smaller piece of fabric or something left over, I can maybe stitch this on it. So I got this. And then last pattern is, I've wanted to stitch this for a long time, and I remember back when I was a teenager liking this and wanting to stitch it, and I think at one point I had it, and where it is now, no one knows. So I picked up Santa of the Forest. I don't have a Santa piece, and this one, I think the animals and the look of the animals, as well as kind of the foresty scene that's right here, I really like. This is actually really big. On a 32 count, it's 12.5 by 15.5, and it's almost full coverage. You know, all of this here is like solid stitching. So this isn't something that I would finish quickly, but my plans are perhaps to just buy a big piece of natural linen. That's what it uses, and start it and just kind of work on it over, you know, the course of a couple of years and see where I can go with it and maybe eventually have a finish. So anyway, that was what I got. Anything else? Okay. So that's about it for this week. I've just been getting ready and packing and trying to take care of life stuff and everything. And I will return from Florida. I may go ahead and do another video next weekend. I might not wait 2 weeks. And if I get to make a lot of progress on my peacock keeper, and I'll more than likely have haul to show you, I may come on and do a video about that. And if not, then I'll wait a week and stitch on my other pieces, because I'm sure, like, I'm already missing my Chatelaine, my Renaissance Mermaid, and my Meeting on the Turret Stairs, and I haven't even left yet. So, but anyway, we shall see. I hope you guys get a ton of stitching done, and I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.